in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just tryna touch a milli. I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Plug pull up with the pack and I ain't even bust it down. Couple minutes on my phone, I promise I'm gon' get it gone. I stay solid, I get caught, I'm fighting till they sit me down. You get caught, you singing like a nigga in the studio. Brody sold the whip for 1,000 cause we just slid in it. I really make a house call, fuck if your kids in it. Been through some shit that's why my heart too froze. You ain't living what you rapping in a studio. You get your noodle blown, fucking with the opposition. My brother making decisions on anybody that's dissing. With the quickness, I'ma make a decision, I'm on a mission. You tripping, thinking we missing, I'm shooting up with precision. Red beam on the barrel to give myself some assistance. My brother come through like sniper, he knock you off from a distance. Big foe with no foe, I'm balling just like a piston. We get the... Damn, heard it's another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just tryna touch a milli. I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just tryna touch a milli. I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Plug pull up with the pack and I ain't even bust it down. Couple minutes on my phone, I promise I'm gon' get it gone. I stay solid, I get caught, I'm fighting till they sit me down. You get caught, you singing like a nigga in the studio. Brody sold the whip for 1,000 cause we just slid in it. I really make a house call, fuck if your kids in it. Been through some shit that's why my heart too froze. You ain't living what you rapping in a studio. You get your noodle blown, fucking with the opposition. My brother making decisions on anybody that's dissing. With the quickness, I'ma make a decision, I'm on a mission. You tripping, thinking we missing, I'm shooting up with precision. Red beam on the barrel to give myself some assistance. My brother come through like sniper, he knock you off from a distance. Big foe with no foe, I'm balling just like a piston. We get the damn, heard it's another man down in.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the El Nino Podcast. I'm Eladio Nino, and this is Real Everyday People. So, before I say anything, I got to say big shout out to the Lions. Detroit Lions, let's go, baby. Went out to Minnesota, busting boys in their head, gave them their first L of the season, you know what I'm saying? And we going to keep on busting their heads, man. And we still, sending our prayers to Big Hutch, man, for a quick recovery, man. But it definitely felt good. It feels good, every day to see, the Lions taking care of their business, man. Big turnaround for our city. We are definitely coming up, and we are growing in every way. And I love to see it, man, because at one point, ain't nobody want to come to Detroit, not for nothing, you know what I'm saying? And now people just can't get enough of it, man. And every time I look back, man, we got more development coming along, not just with the environment, but, also with the people, watching everybody evolve and grow. It's a great feeling. But it was 80 degrees today. I swear I wasn't even prepared for that shit. I came out, wore my little River Rouge jacket, and thought it was gonna be brisk. Hell no, I had to take all that shit off. It was hot as hell, but it felt good, man. The sun was shining, you know what I'm saying? And I just I appreciated it, especially being in October. But we're in Michigan, man. This weather is crazy, man. But today I got a special guest on here, man. Happy to have him here. Got a great story, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to him sharing, his life with you guys, man. We got my man Mav One. What's up with you, brother?
What's up, bro? What's up?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. You know what I'm saying? Happy to have you here, man. Welcome to the El Nino Podcast.
Yeah, this is dope, bro. This is a good ass setup, man. Like, I was looking around, like, we mess around with stuff, and I'm just like, damn, this is organized. Like, cool. Yeah, I like that. I like coming into places people like take their craft seriously, man. Like everything down to the fucking rug in the bathroom is blue. So
ain't no doubt about it, man. For sure, man. I'm glad you like it, man. And that's the reaction that I like when people come here and they're like, damn, it's a lot to see. You know what I'm saying? And everything in here is a reflection of me, who I am, whether it's just interest or part of my childhood, adolescent, adulthood, everything I'm involved in, bro. You can come down here and you can see who I am. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that specifically, just like with even like at the studio at the Academy, MCSDA is like, it's the same thing. It's like a bunch of stuff. Like, it's just, oh, I had this, or I like this. I finally got the bread to get it. I want to put it out.
Yes.
It's just people come in and it's like they get to digest like who you are, and like without having to speak to you. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Absolutely.
There's a whole lot of like even like what do you call it? Like the horror movies and everything. I'm just slasher flicks.
Hey,
I was
no
like,
doubt.
okay,
yeah,
cool.
I fuck with Rob Zombie, and
man.
I like all that gory
Captain
shit.
Howdy and shit.
All that shit. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
man. Listen, bro, I just went and seen Terrifier 3.
Oh.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
bro. I took my wife with me. We went last week. And I was not prepared for that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty extreme. I'm talking about gruesome, blood, gore. Like, if you love that shit, it's got plenty.
Cool,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
That's what I like about like Senate Theater. They show all those wild B movies, like all the
Yes.
like old horror movies, especially like all
Yeah.
month. They just
Yep.
drop all the the Senate Theater across the street from us. They always like just cool movies and like a bunch of and it's not they don't have to do the mainstream stuff. So you get like a little bit of like something you wouldn't catch at the movie theater or something old or even the old slasher
old
flicks,
classic shit.
Yeah, like Attack of the Killer Ants, like wild shit like that. So
Yeah, no doubt, man. So for those who don't know, MCSDA is Motor City Street Dance Academy.
Thank you.
Okay, just because we get a lot of viewers,
Yeah.
everybody's not from Southwest, everybody doesn't know. So even when I represent, my nonprofit organization, Detroit Hispanic Development Corporation, I always make sure that people know, who it is, what it is, you know what I'm saying, what we do, and all that good stuff. But let's talk about the MCSDA, bro. Like, what it contributes to the community, how it started, how you got started,
Oh shit! I mean, I think on the contribution side, just talking about MCSDA, like we are a creative hub. Like originally, I started it out as like just a strictly breaking space. That's my element, breaking, b-boying. That's what I started out with. Like, and so every time I went to teach at places, they didn't take it seriously. They wanted us to do all this like, choreography, hip hop, music video, BS, and and I was like, I liked seeing battling. I took it serious. I traveled, learned from mad pioneers, things like that. But yeah, so I just opened it up to be a breaking studio originally. But like as time went on and like we connected with more creatives and people just came into the space, I always left it open for people to use it to interpret it their own ways. So if they had an idea to do a class, I didn't like, oh no, that ain't hip hop, that ain't on brand. Like that's not the brand. The brand is like we're open and accessible because, in my history going back, so much of the shit we did, like they didn't, we weren't allowed in. Like they were constantly kicking us out of places and everything, all the way from Patton to Clemente, like up and down the hood, like all the way through Vernon. We were bad as hell. Like that. So I get it now.
I can't see how they didn't, wouldn't support something.
This is
like
late
that.
'90s, early 2000s, and no like adult to tell us to behave in our like clique, and everybody was like all beefed out, and crews and stuff like that. Gang culture spilt over into like the way we repped crews too. So there's a whole thing. So
because like living in Chicago and living in East LA, like I used to hang out with bombers and shit. You know what I'm saying? And even though they were just the culture of art and all that, they were very territorial. They operated like gangs. Like if you came and tagged in their hood, they on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Just like a gang would be. So it was like really no different. You know what I'm saying?
And practice was like that too, man. So for us, like I said, like the different crews, like you would practice with your back, like to the other people. Like nobody practiced in the middle unless it was cool. But like if you were with your crew, you like had your back turned and and practiced over here, and then everybody did their thing elsewhere and stuff. So that mentality was there, and like to circle back is like that's what like kind of got us kicked out of everywhere. We always ended up getting into some shit. But as I got older and like learned to cope with certain things, and I don't know, not take everything personal.
You guys are continuing a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Of hip hop, of breakdancing, bro, b-boys, like that was the shit. I remember, when I was a kid, bro, we lived over there on West Grand Boulevard and Bagley, and between Vernon and Bagley, and that's when I fell in love with hip hop, b-boy, break dancing. This is back in the days when it was a pandemic. Everybody was stealing the Mercedes-Benz hood ornaments off the cars or the Cadillac ones, and they were wearing them on necklaces or wearing them on their belts or tying them into their shoes. you know, they'd bring the big cardboard out, you know what I'm saying? They had the radios with all the lights on.
Yeah,
like,
the
you
Lasonics,
know,
that's what they were called, the Lasonic.
man,
ones,
you know, I don't know where I would find one at, but I would like to find one of
they
those.
got like
you know what I'm
now they got the
saying?
like remakes. They got like USB chargers, but a couple of my OG Crisco, he's got one up in his shop, in his workshop. He's got a little
One of
old
them
Lasonic.
OG classic?
Yeah, and he's like, yo, it took like 16 D batteries. He's like, you don't understand how expensive D batteries are. I was like,
Hell yeah,
even now,
for
I'm like,
sure.
yeah,
And then
but-
you have to carry that
yeah, then
motherfucker
carry that
too.
damn thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up, you know, doing helicopters. You know, I was a kid, so they would put
That's what
me
I
on
taught
their
today.
shoulders
Yeah.
and do you know what I'm saying? And it was just, I love that shit. And then graffiti came
Yeah.
with it, and music came with
Yep.
it. So it was like, it was just a whole culture till this day. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And but you keeping the old school alive, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, so that's like what we're contributing is like, you know, as I went through the spaces and people just didn't take it seriously, it was like, nah, like we are a real thing. This is like, you know, it has its own language. It's like, you know, it should be taken seriously like any other dance form. And then, you know, they didn't want to do it. I said, fuck it, I'll open up my own spot. We got moving, everybody came in. Now, you know, we do so much stuff like, yo, like, you know, between like yoga classes, we had a cooking class this weekend. Like, you know, we were able to, you know, facilitate that. It's not like my cooking class or staff, but we were able to like secure like equipment for Konjo cuisine that does it, and it's Ethiopian cuisine, and she does like a whole spread and shows everybody, you know, and then gets to talk about the history, gets to talk about, you know, the legacy of like that food, and you know, just all that.
That's
and then we
dope.
get, and you know, we got to learn and stuff like how all of that like, you know, the history, like with the injera bread and stuff like that, like all the different things. And it's just, you know, it's like, oh shit, y'all eat with your hands too. Is whole different, you know, culture and things like that. And you know, it's their version of a tortilla or our version of theirs, you know, whatever. But you know, and then we but like, you know, that ain't in like our necessarily like our element of hip hop, but like we're able to do that, you know. All kinds of graphics, you know, all kinds of different, you know, like Richie teaches like graffiti art at the spot. You know,
Shane, what does Shane do there?
Trees, he teaches
Trees,
yeah,
yeah.
he teaches DJing, beat making. Well, he'll mess around with beat making. Most of his stuff is DJing, and then he teaches like a groove class and stuff like that. So
What
and,
is a groove class?
like just how to dance to music, you know, like
Okay,
how to.
okay,
and
yeah.
Shane is like Shane like knows how to dance, knows how to just enjoy music, and
Yeah.
that like
No, that's the
permeates
shit.
into like his class when he teaches. And it was just like originally it was gonna be like a breaking class. I think he kind of also like he jits, so he's able to kind of, you know,
What?
steer it anyway.
That's
Hip hop,
the
all
shit.
these things. Like he knows a lot of different styles, so he kind of is able to take like how he wants the music that day, like, you know, where he's feeling and like, or where the students are feeling and stuff like that. So
yeah,
like,
I've been wanting to get him on the podcast.
yeah, man,
too,
he's
for
cool
a minute.
people.
Yeah.
I've known shit, man, what's it, 14, 15 years now? Like that's
Damn.
wild. Like I met
Yeah.
him, you know, 2010, 2009 or something like that at a jam I threw. It was the first time I seen him, and then we just clicked, man. We like good music, like hanging out, like just
Yeah,
having
I
good
mean, he's a
time, man. Good
I
people.
see him at every event in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
He also comes to the DHDC. You know what I'm saying? And you guys actually teach choreography.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah. We're
kids. You
teaching
teach
breaking over
bebopping,
there.
breaking, all
Yeah.
that shit.
What else?
And that's dope, though.
Beat
bro.
making
You know what I'm
classes,
saying?
DJing classes, art,
Yup.
and you know, just regular art classes. So like, yeah, man, like the spot is just like people just get to come in and create. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I had started out with it being like uber hip hop, like breaking thing, and then it just kind of was like, man, so many cool creatives come around us and want to do cool shit. Like, let's just, all I got to worry about is keeping the lights on and like ordering some, you know, extra equipment if they need it in order to do like in order to do it. And that's like, you know, that's like our contribution to the like creative scene and stuff like that. And then, you know, we're producing really dope breakers now, you know, like even
That's
like
dope.
today, like, you know, my one of my shorties, the little guy, Ja, he won in Toronto in his age bracket
Damn,
and stuff
for
like
real?
that. Yeah, so he's going, you know, he's dominating all over Michigan. Like that was easy for him. I mean, MCSDA dominating all over, you know, whether we're winning or at least brackets starting shit, just holding, you know, letting people know. But it's like, and why is, you know, it's because like that's the attitude where we're from. Like, you know, I think when I think about like a lot of the like pride and like people from Southwest is because there ain't too much else to hold on to, at least at like our era and what we passed on. Like there ain't too much to hold on to. That's why we don't shut up about the neighborhood. It's like the namesake and where we're from is why we're so proud, because there wasn't too much else to like be like, well, I'm proud of like, you know, this or that, or I like, you know, like I never was like, I was big into sports, but I could care shit less about like the school pride stuff like that. I ain't care about that. Yeah. But like I was like repping my block.
Shout out to all the kids that went to homecoming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All my, you know, my niece, nephew.
I seen y'all after.
I never been to a homecoming. I never been to a prom. I mean, fuck, I dropped out of school in 9th grade, bro. I grew up in a different time. You know, gang banging was a priority. Hustling was my priority at the age of 14, 15 years old. So, you know, that's what consumed my life. You know, my adolescence, my, you know, youth, and, you know, just, you know, even part of my adulthood. But I'm grateful to be here. You know, I got a second chance at life.
Yeah, man.
And,
that's dope.
You know, I've been creating and building and, you know, making it happen. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, bro, where you grew up, and a little bit about your family. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a Vasquez by legal, so you know, legal name. I don't know. There's a lot of people I'm related to, but we grew up. You know, the fam came in from Mexico, landed on McKen Street. My dad's side, my mom's side landed on Logan. Some point they connected and stuff, and then they had a house on Rathbone.
That's two whole separate sides of the hood.
Yep. We lived on Rathbone, and then when my pop split, we went to Olivet, and then we stayed over on Cahalan, and then I got moved around a lot, like just from being in trouble. You know, same thing, being younger, got in trouble, just was, you know, as much as like I was like, everybody kept telling me, you just need a creative outlet. Like I kept, you know, like, yo, I want to break. Everybody's like, nah, find something else to do. It's like, all right, bet. I'm going to find something dumb to do then, you know? Mm-hmm. Whether, you know, I got into writing. I was just like, and I was never bombing. I was just writing my name on shit like hand styles and scrawls and stuff like that. Because I was, you know, I dabbled a little bit here and there and stuff. Ran with Loaf, ran with Richie, stuff like that. Knew all these guys from a while back. But it was, got into like, you know, like needing money, man. The same thing. So then what do? You look for, you know, any opportunity, quick money. You know, you try for a little bit, you know, trying to do the right thing, but that shit don't last because don't nobody answer. So next thing you know, you're running around with the wrong peoples, and the wrong people's got the right opportunities in order to exploit you as a young homie and shit like that. So it's, you know, it's like, in the work that I do, I know that it's that same opportunity, but the intention isn't evil. The intention isn't malicious. It's like I got the opportunities to put these young dudes like on work the same way that I got put on, but this is like we're gonna go teach in schools, not boost cars. Like there's a big difference, you know, like and so like, you know, I grew up and around that and stuff. I went to Redeemer. I made it to Western for like 3 months, then got shipped out to LP, misbehaved out there, got shipped to like Cabrini and Allen Park, and that was a whole fucking clusterfuck. I don't know why my mom thought that was a good idea. Caught cases out there, like
running out of options.
Yeah, so it's like I just kept moving.
She was willing to try
south,
anything.
Further out west, and then finally she shipped me out to my dad's in
Did
Grand
you ever
Rapids.
go to Juvenile?
Yeah, in and out and stuff.
I figured with all that shit,
yeah, man.
Into you had to at least go to the
Juvie Hall over there on 75, and then actually funny story about that. Well, not funny, but you know how it all ties together is that's how I got connected to DHDC. I got in a bunch of trouble.
Okay.
And then my, what do you call that? The court appointed person and shit like that had like options for me, because the stuff I got caught with, like, was enough for like 5-6 years, but not enough to like completely convict me and stuff. It was just some grand larceny shit and everything, and because of the amount, that's what got me put into a higher, you know, into like longer time. But then they found a program, DHDC, Angie was doing the work and looking specifically for people to be like, okay, these are kids in our neighborhood, we need to help them out. So that was one of me.
He said that was one of me.
Yeah, that was like one. Like I was lucky.
Yeah,
like she just
sure.
happened to look. And then, man, my last name is Vasquez, so like I'm at the tail end of shit. Like, you know, so by the time they get through flipping the book, I'm usually the last person gets picked.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm out of time. Like, you know what? I gotta go. They stopped at P or Q, and then I'm fucked. Right. So I was like, you know, she was even told me, she was like, yeah, I was like, I just happened to see the name, and I'm like, I think I know him, and she knew me from around, you know, from helping with a event, you know, being just in the neighborhood and seeing us practice and shit.
Oh,
So
yeah. She was definitely a nurturing mother in the community.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So she helped with some work, and then I don't know if it was necessarily her or the case managers, but then my OG Sakari was actually the one who got my case and then helped me get all the community service hours and get it down, because then they took it from like 5 to 6 years to like a year, and then they got rid of it, and I just lived at DHDC because I owed like 2,000 hours in like community service.
Damn.
Yeah, something crazy, right? And
we still do community service there.
I'm still doing community service. That's why I was stuck doing this shit. I'm still fucking here doing community service for some shit I did in 03. But no, like, what's her name? But, you know, his name, Sakari, this is my OG. And then I would see him at La Sed practices and stuff like that. And then I kind of lost contact for, you know, not even like long. It was like a year. He came back, and then he had a job doing that, and so he was like, yo, we got to clean out the back area of DHDC, because there used to be like a printing, like ship printers or some shit back in like the 90s. And so I helped clear that whole back area out where everybody is. Like, I was like legit the first person to start cleaning that fucking place, because like I know Lex was there helping me and stuff like that, but like I was the one he was helping run the youth program. Yeah. I was just like, go clean back there, and like, so I literally all I did was clean up and open up a space so we could practice. Swept for like 3 hours, and then mopped, and then put our floor down, found a speaker, and I was like, cool, we got a spot to practice. That was if you look at the wall, like when you walk into the space from like the office from the Trumbull side, and you look to the right where the Ninja Turtle mural is, there's the cipher. That was what we made, was the cipher.
Yeah,
so
the cipher.
Yeah, so that was what the cipher. Street. Yep. Abbott. Yeah, so it's on that wall, the Abbott Street wall. And that was our practice spot. That was where we practiced after everybody kicked us out. And then
there's kind of enough space there for you to get down.
Yeah, oh yeah, there was tons of space. I mean, they had like
everything
some gymnastic
there represents Southwest, represents our culture, represents, you know, hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's got a story.
Yeah, man, it's really dope. And you know, Lex is really a good teacher, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is very experienced in programs and working with the youth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've learned a lot from him. You know what I'm saying? And he is one of my go-to people. You know, when I'm trying to figure shit out or I get stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has a graceful way of really teaching and giving you different options, and you know what I'm saying?
Man, and that's experience, you know. Like I said, Lex has been there.
Grew up in it,
yeah,
you know? And his kids are growing up in it, you know.
And the little ones, I tell you, the little ones will come and take classes every once in a while.
Oh yeah,
you know, his lady Sandy will bring them through and stuff like that. And then you know, and they'll take class, and you know, they're cool for, you know, they like it, and then they're like, all right, time to do art. And then
little
they want
Sully and little Nino.
And you know, he's the one who likes breaking. She likes doing art, but he likes breaking. So it was cool.
That makes sense.
You know, and so you know,
and then to be that little though, you know, to be that young and teaching them, you know what I'm saying? That's like giving them tools, giving them, you know, opportunities to explore with things that they like and don't like. You know, when we grew up, bro, we ain't have all them options. You either were going to go to school and get educated and go get a good job, or you was going to join a motherfucking gang, you know what I'm saying, and just get caught up in that, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, that's how our whole community was operating. Everybody was in the streets.
Yeah.
You know, for some, they were deciding, you know, when they were going to graduate, where they want to graduate from, what college they were going to go to, and all that. But for the majority of us, it was like, what gang are you going to join? You know, what, you know, are you going to sell drugs? You know, just, you know, what your talents were in the streets, you know? So I love, you know, seeing our community evolve to what it is today. Because, you know, we were talking about even simple things like house parties, even events, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the gang shit divided us, man. It divided our community, divided our people. I mean, I know brothers who were fighting each other because they were in different gangs, and cousins who wouldn't fuck with each other because they were in different gangs, you know what I mean? So not only did it divide the people, it divided the families and the household and all that shit, because that's how deep rooted and, you know, the love and loyalty that everybody had for their gang, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you couldn't go to, you know, Holy Redeemer. They used to have the carnivals up there, or Clark Park used to have the festivals.
Clark
even
Festival.
fucking Hart Plaza. I mean, they took all that shit away
Yeah.
from us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They even took the Cinco de Mayo parade. I was in prison, but I heard that they had taken them away because, you know, people were just getting killed because of the violence, man. And it's like, I'm glad to see that we done shook that shit,
Yeah.
and everybody is working together, networking, celebrating life, celebrating community. People are so talented. I've never seen so much talent in one place, especially coming out of my own community. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about from mariachis to breakdancing to producing to shooting videos to rapping to, you know, mariachi, Mexican music, males, females, kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Folklorio dancers. Like, I'm just like, man, this is so dope. And I love being a part of it, you know, and just me running my podcast. I've been going for a little over 4 years, and I just happen to be in the mix and beating brothers like you and everybody else, you know what I'm saying? So I love having a platform to be able to promote our talents, who we are, where we come from, where we've been, and where we're headed, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's another element, you know, another, like, not even on the hip hop side of shit, but just another element, like, of like a creative lane. And it's like I was saying, you know, is everybody kind of going around to each other and like creating and supporting. It's like more people that come here are able to learn. Like, the more people that come on this and then are documented, and that's kind of like archive. And then as people come up, then they're like, oh, well, who do I have to look up to that is X, Y, and Z, you know? Then they're able to be like, oh shit, like, they could watch you and be, you know, watch this and be like, damn, you know, there's b-boys like that I can learn from that are from the neighborhood. There's producers and shit, you know, video directors and stuff like that, like doing big name work, you know, like, it's not just like, and that's, I feel like the shift for so long, like, coming up, you know, everybody like created, but it wasn't like, it was just in our circle, it was in our neighborhood, and we are like, cool, that's dope. But now it's like to the point where like people are seeking us out from like other neighborhoods or other parts of the city, other cities, other you know, other like big name artists and stuff like that, you know, that are looking for us. And it's become, you know, the style, the taste that people look for, and it's, you know, it's unique to the city, you know. I travel a lot for breaking, like for events, for judging, for teaching, competing, hosting events. Like,
damn, it's really a thing.
yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Holy
man.
shit.
Yeah, like it was
New York?
Yeah,
I mean,
oh yeah, all over. Name a dog. It's name a city.
Yeah,
and it's
because
like,
I feel like New York really
and New York is like, New York is dope. Don't get me wrong, that shit is ill. Like, I stayed out there for like a month and a half in Brooklyn, and just being and learning like history, like even the stuff that predated breaking, rock dance and stuff like that, rocking. Like, I was able to learn the history and meet some of the people like Bushwick 774, all these people, like on Bushwick Ave, you know, Papo Love, these people who've been there like since the creation of it, and even some of them before it created, and the dance style that they did influence what became breaking. Like, learning from those pioneers and people like that, like, and that's the importance of like what I do. I'm not trying to just be like, oh look, I'm some ill ass b-boy, I'm out here, you know, I was doing this. It's like, no, I learned from like the pioneers, and there ain't much time on these guys. Like, they're able to hit the ground when they, you know, they can still hit the ground. They can't do that shit now, you know. Like 10 years ago when I learned from them, I was still able to learn like by example. Now it's hearing stories, and then soon it's gonna be, you know, second, third person, you know, passed down type shit. So it's just the importance of like sharing, and again back to like the archiving and learning, and just being able to document so much of this ill shit we're doing and creating. Like, we're able to pass this on. But like, yeah, you go, you know, like New York was dope, and I learned from there. But then like, I've been, you know, some of the illest in the country right now are in Philly. And so I was out there for a week.
Philly's another state.
Yeah. And so I went out to Philly for a week, you know, and trained with those guys, and it was dope. And, you know, and they're just on another.
So is it like an exchange of talent? Like, do you teach and learn? Is it
a little bit of that? Well, like the Philly trip for me was me going to learn from really dope people. Like, these guys are like, one of them like was at the, like an invited person to battle at the Red Bull Nationals, like in LA, that was on Venice Beach. And, you know, so it was like, and it ain't like no little like fucking linoleum floor and a speaker on the side. Like, it's full stage production. I don't know if you know who Murs is, the MC. He's from LA, but he's a dope MC. But like he hosted, these people did all this, you know. So it's like it's big production level stuff. Like it's heavy multi-million-dollar productions for like a top 16 battle. But you know, so that was in LA. But this guy that I was training, one of the people I was training with, is like out there. And then as dope as he is, he went to LA and just lost. Like, and then he comes into Michigan and he dominates. And then he goes back to Philly and he's able to hold it down on the East Coast. He goes to the West Coast and he gets sunned. So I was like, damn, like, and it ain't because he's whack. It's just so much like other outward forces of pressure, you know, being out in the sun, out in the Cali sun when you're used to Philly, that sort of shit. So I go out there and train with these dudes, and like, it's working with them to come back home.
That's crazy how
and inspire.
climate change.
Yeah, man. They got a crew in Denver called Iron Lungs. You ever been out there?
No,
Denver. So it's like because
I
of
would
the
love to go
elevation.
out there.
Yeah, the elevation, like it's harder to breathe. Like when I got off the plane and for like 2 hours, I had the worst headache and shit. So anyway, so like that's a whole thing. You go to Denver because of Mile High, you know, city and shit like that. Go to Denver and like it's harder to breathe. It was harder to do moves, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy as shit." And there's a crew called Iron Lungs, anyway. But you know, so East Coast, yeah.
See,
And but they're not weed heads. I was like, "Damn, they missed the opportunity there." Iron Lungs would be a ill ass. But yeah. So just training with these different people, coming back, and then being like, "Yo, like this is the standard on the East Coast, and it's so much higher than ours." So like, yeah, I'm in a learning position, but then I'm able to build with them about like organizations, infrastructure, because what I'm doing with MCSDA is pretty unique in the breaking world for it being like an organization. Like we sponsor events like nationally, so like the homies in Texas, Paflo, the homies in LA, that threw like a rocking event and stuff like that, East Coast, all kinds of people, you know, all the different people, and different scenes that we're able to like connect with. I'm able to like help sponsor like event, pay for a judge, pay for the hotel, stuff like that, or something, you know, help out with the events.
Yeah, that's dope.
And it's like, and it's coming out of our neighborhood, you know, and like off of, you know, the Beacons broadcasting off of, you know, Michigan Ave. So it's pretty dope and for us because it's so unique and we're able to do something.
So
like,
what do you get? You got sponsorships? Okay.
Sponsorships, grants,
okay.
stuff like that. Like we're sponsored with Red Bull. We're sponsored by. So I ain't wearing this shit because we're sponsored. It's just what I grabbed today.
Yeah.
But
that's dope,
Snipes,
though,
like
because, yeah, man, that's dope. That's some big names.
Adidas,
Though, you know?
And we do work with them. Like, you know, Adidas last year dropped off like a whole bunch of like white forum lows, and we got to do an art project with all the different teachers and stuff, and they all decorated or I don't say decorated, they designed their sneakers with paint markers. And then for sweet. 313 Day, Snipes 313 Day, we what do you call it? Not raffled. They what do you call it? Fuck, I'm drawing a blank. But they like, you know, we're able to bid on them. There we go.
Okay.
A silent auction. That's a fucking word I was thinking of. Yeah.
Auction?
So they were able to do a silent auction on the sneakers that the students, some of the teachers designed at 313 Day. And then,
shit.
you know, the Adidas people fucking loved it and want to do it again.
Damn, good for you.
They got
bro.
like themes and stuff. So yeah, we got I'd say a majority of the stuff we do is grant work. I'm real intentional about like what we get for grants. Like I try not to dabble in anything that's gonna restrict me or jeopardize like the integrity of like what I do in hip hop. So like if they're not letting us do what we do naturally, it's just not all money's good money. So it's just I just leave it on the table, and then I come back and grab. You know, I'll find somebody else. You know.
But do they reach out to you? Do you reach out to them?
How
does this work? Because I've been doing this podcast for a little over 4 years, and you know, I've had some local support. You know what I'm saying? Mainly family and friends who, you know, break bread to help me out. But I would love to have like official sponsors, like teach me, you know, because I need some support because. You know, clearly this shit costs money.
Yeah,
you know
what
I'm saying?
Blue cord, that shit is expensive.
You know, I have my old habits, brother. You know, this color is my favorite color. I'm taking it to the grave with me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's very helpful when you have that type of sponsorship, people who support you, sponsor you, and you know, it just really, I feel like it takes you to another level. You're
Yeah.
able to grow, thrive. You're able to enhance your equipment or your opportunities where you can go different places, network, build, stuff like that.
I
you
think
know what I'm saying?
that's like our biggest thing too, man, with MCSDA is I'm not trying to be like, my formula isn't like a hierarchy, like a pyramid, like with me at the top and everything. It's all about me being on the bottom doing the work so that everybody could grow upward in their own ways and how they want. It's not restricted by my title, where I sit, how I position myself, identities, all that sort of stuff. And, you know, there's those different intersections that could cause conflict with like your ability to grow or like just, you know, your how you navigate things, your privilege, things like that. Like the more I'm able to center myself with my ability, the better foundation I could create for everybody else to be able to springboard off of that. I do all the work so that way the lights are on and then we got stuff at the studio. Then anyone could come in there and create. You're not you're not.
I've never been in there, bro.
No, see what the
I
fuck,
have
man.
to come in there, bro.
Yeah, man.
For real. I
That's
think
everybody's
it's dope.
thing.
I've passed it 10,000
Yeah.
times,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, that's where they're at.
Yep.
Damn, that's sweet. I love it, but I've
Yeah.
never been in there. Like, I really need to get up.
Yeah,
in
man,
there.
because that's what we do is so that way, and it's not like, I mean, this is dope. Don't get me wrong, like, but like having something satellite to be able to work with, because I do feel like some of the money, a majority of the money is for us in like a mentorship role. So I say like that's kind of like what always gets us funded is us being able to teach, and it's just kind of like youth programming stuff. There's so much damn money out there, bro, but like, you know, and this ain't shade at everybody, but it's also just a reality is like, you know, in the neighborhood, people fighting over orgs, fighting over money, arguing over like where the lines get drawn. And it's like, dog, like there's so much out there. Like
No,
I have
for
no
real.
reason to fight with anybody about a
Yeah.
dollar getting, because it's like, you have
And
that.
it's
'cause
like
I got
that,
5
bro.
more this way. Like,
It really is, bro.
Yeah.
Like different organizations, like they'll slander each other,
Yeah,
bro,
for what?
or try backstab, or just. I was like, damn, like, you know, I coming out of prison, coming from the past, the gangs, the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, I chose this life so I don't have to think like that and
Yeah.
worry about that type of shit no more. And I learned that in the 5 years that I've been home and I've been working at a nonprofit organization, and you start networking and seeing other people and meeting people from different parts of the city, and everybody's got their own organizations. And then when that money comes up, bro, like people really get to slandering each other.
snaky,
People get
and then
cutthroat,
certain
bro,
people
for
come
real,
in.
so that they can get the money or control the money or whatever. I mean, there's enough money for everybody, you know, everybody, you know, I love seeing different organizations in different parts of the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, that are able to service the community, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
because there's so many damn people. Like, it's like there's no reason. And the thing is it's like it just becomes like a dog and pony show. It's like, show up and do all this shit for the grant people. Show up and do all this shit for when you do events, so that way you can market it so people can look. And it's like, yo, or the day to day is what really matters. Like, I'm worried about that. I want, you know, like, that's my biggest thing about like with all this grant shit is like these people that do pass down the money never come and really see what we do. We got to write reports and do all this. So it's the grant money that like does give us the lifeblood, and I appreciate it. But it's like I'm hypercritical of the fucking system, and like I just like my biggest thing is like, why do I have to apply for the money? You should be looking for me and looking for like we should be shopping
And
for
that
you.
shit come with a criteria too.
Yeah,
They ain't
yeah,
just
yeah.
handing you money until you go do what you want to do.
That's
You
it's
got-
a whole
there's paperwork.
Yep.
There's a paper trail. You got to make sure you meet quotas and
Yep.
numbers and a lot of that type of
They
shit.
want to see
you
that,
know?
and it's like, and that's the shit we teach, man. Like we try to minimize, like that's the stuff like I try to teach specifically to other people is like, how do I get it so you can earn? Like I don't need to make, you know, it's not hurting me for you to earn. It's not hurting for me to for you to eat. Like it's benefiting me because then you have a whole thing going, and I can focus on what I'm doing. And when those kids and when those people and families come in and they're looking for specifically creative things, I'm not trying to do a bunch of everything. I have the one thing that I'm good at. Like that's hip hop culture, that's street dance, street culture, really. You know, when it comes to like Shane does the bike stuff, you know, with the big rippers and shit. Like that's a whole other element to a fashion. You know, all these different things that are like part of street culture that we do. You know, the graph, all that stuff. You know. like we do all that, and
Do
it's
you
like
get into graffiti?
a little bit. Like I said, it was just writing. I still like throw my hand up, throw slaps everywhere and stuff like that. If you see an oval, it's probably me with the little math
Hey
thing.
man,
in
shout
there.
out to Richie Blanco, man.
Yeah,
My
man.
guy. And big shout out to Diego Cruz. He just shot a video for Big Sean. So congratulations for that. I know when he was on my podcast, he talked about, you know, he would love to do a video one day for Big Sean.
Yeah.
And it happened. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I already look at him and Emilio like, you know, because every time I look at their Instagram, their stories, everything, like they're with like they're with superstars. They're with big names. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I think it's just awesome, bro, to see our people from our community out of Southwest Detroit and directing and producing videos for all these high-end artists. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, I look at, you know, Sada Baby. I look at Babyface, Ray Vezzo. You know what I'm saying? All them guys is high-profile stars from the city of Detroit. But I mean, they brought, you know, what's his name, Kodak Black, and there's just a long list.
Yeah, all those people when they shot the video over at Patton and then stuff like that.
Yeah,
Diego was doing all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's cool, you know. Diego, like, and that's the thing is like I feel like that was crazy because there's like two really big catalysts in the neighborhood that like you just seen like a influx of like creatives. 5E Gallery was around from like 2006 to 2014, 15 maybe, right? Well, 2013, 2014, right before we got we came out. But that's where I like started doing this work that led up to MCSDA was through 5E Gallery and Sakari when he worked at DHDC. When he left DHDC, he opened up the 5E Gallery, and it was just a hip hop gallery, art, music, dance, you know, everything. We were just getting down. It was cool. And then, you know, times went and everything, and, you know, it evolved into a space where he was no longer wanting to do it in the city, and he moved to Hawaii. Yeah, he's out in Hawaii. And, but 5E Gallery gave, like, a big start. But that was, like, you know, these guys, like, when I think about, like, the creatives that came out of there was, like, Kuza, Moses, Damasio, Gabe was running around, K1, Suppy, who else? I mean,
shout out to Damasio.
yeah,
man. That's my
everybody.
dog.
Yeah, all those guys, like they were like in that age, like that early teens, and they were popping up at the gallery, and then we were there practicing. You know, I'm like 7 years older than those guys, 5-7 years older than that group, but Huey, like a b-boy, like Malik Suave, like Suave makes music,
That's
but
my
like that
dog,
was he
man.
came from the gallery era and underneath us breaking, but like he was around all them creating and doing stuff. So like all those guys, Gabe, you know, Damasio, Malik, like, and there was a whole wave of them that were all there, and then like they all kind of like got older and started creating more, and then like that's when like they connected with like Curtis Roach, Jay.
Shout out to the culture creators.
Yeah, J Squared, like all those guys started doing stuff, and then that was like a big wave, like a huge influx of like all these like creatives that had started coming out, and that was out of the like 5E Gallery, and then like at some point, like in that 2014 to like 2016, 17 range, that's where like everybody like for some just honed in. That was where these guys like Curtis like came like really into his own sound. Damasio started putting out doing mural art along with his music, and like it was like a whole package, like, and it's real unique, you know, how he does stuff. And like so many of these guys were creating, and then Malik started getting into making music at that point. Suave started getting into making music at that time. So these guys, all of them, like by that time they just tapped in and just really blossomed into like what you see, because like at that time we were doing stuff with like Reyes, like from Culture Creators, and Diego and everybody, and we were just doing like, it was just local stuff. They weren't tapped in on like the bigger market yet. And then from, you know, just that consistency and that work ethic that everybody had, because at that point that was when I was honing in on MCSDA and like really creating it. Those first few years, those guys were coming in, and then from there we just kept growing and kept growing.
It's
and
crazy.
now it's like
I met Reyes while I was in prison.
Oh, okay, word, yeah.
He used to be friends with a friend of mine, Maximo Anguiano, and they came and did a Cinco de Mayo event for all the prisoners. I was the president of an organization called HASTA, Hispanic Americans Striving Towards Advancement, and that was like a community for the Latino people, you know, an organization for us that we used to have our own meetings and all that stuff, you know, educational, you know, activities. We had our own team and stuff like that, and they were our sponsors, you know what I'm saying? And they came and had a Cinco de Mayo event in prison, and that's when I met Reyes.
Yeah.
He was from Chicago, I think, by the way of Saginaw. You know what I'm saying? And then when I came home, he was like building in Southwest. And I thought that was amazing, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I got, you know, plenty of respect for him. He did, it was cool because he asked like 10 people, give me a word. Give me a word. Give me a word. And then he fucking, what do you call it? What do you call something? Is
like
it
freestyle? Like you freestyled it and put it all together in the poetry side.
It's like a
he called it
poetic.
a caldo, I think he calls it, and it's like where he grabs like every little bit. If I remember, it's been a minute since I've seen him perform.
He told a whole poetry piece, bro, using everybody's word, bro. I was like, damn, that was amazing. And then to come home and see him tied in, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't sure I would ever met him again, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought, you know, he was living in Saginaw. When I come, he's like right in the neighborhood, and he's killing the game, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, big ups to him, man. And, you know, everybody, bro, everybody that's doing their part. You know,
it's wild just that like it's like light years, because if you look at like what was getting created in like 2014 compared to what was getting created in 2019, and it's like that's just 5 years, and it's like it went from just like, and I don't know if it's like, you know, the technology is definitely adds to it, but like it goes from like just not even having like produced albums out, like mastered, like they're just making them and putting them out, to like having like renowned ass artists and engineers, like they got features and doing work with all these amazing people and stuff like that, but like beyond that, like the quality of work that they're putting out is so much better. The quality of art that's getting put out, like you look at Freddie's work from 2014 and you look at it to 2019, again, it's like it's another, like it's just something lined up and some stars or some wild shit, because everybody just went and just was like way better, you know, just like when
everybody's honing their craft. You know what I'm saying?
The b-boys I had working, or the young homies that were in high school that I found at Western and started teaching, like within that time span, like took over Michigan, were just smoking everybody, like, and talking mad shit, like, and I loved it, because everybody was all hunky-dory and being all like, oh, that's not right, they shouldn't be telling everybody that they're dope, they should be humble. I was like, fuck that, you tell them to be humble then. Like, you go humble them. I was like, till then, you got to listen to it. Like, and that was like that pride, like, again, in the neighborhood, and just like the b-boy mentality. It's not like I'm tearing you down as a person, but like as our art is like competition. Like, I'm sorry, dog, I'm better than you, and I'm gonna be better, and I'm gonna do the simplest shit and be the illest, and like that's the energy, and the energy and the breaking shit. You know,
go in there.
You
ain't going in to lose.
You ain't going or the fucking. You know, and you know, you can make friends afterward, but during the competition, during the battle, during all of this stuff, like, there's so much, like, you just like, oh, I had a rough ass week, I'm about to smoke the hell out of somebody on Saturday, like, you know, just like having that positive outlet.
So it's like therapeutic, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Or it just leads to more fucking shit. You know, you come home more aggravated because some bullshit judge call, but whatever.
So you're a father, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You got.
My son is about to be, what day is it? 20. So it'll be 22 in like 6 days.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the other one is 4, and then my little
one. That's a big
one.
gap.
Yeah. He's the other one. I was like, oh shit. Guess you're here. Ozzy. Emiliano's the 22, gonna be the 22-year-old.
Okay.
He's at Wayne State. Yeah, he's a whole ass dude.
Good for him.
He grew up in the neighborhood helping me do all this stuff, man. Without him, it definitely would not have been as easy as it was. You know, even as a kid, like 12, 13, he was still down to be like, yeah, I'll paint, I'll help, I'll be here, I'll do this. He'll run the booth, he'll pass out flyers.
Cooperation.
Even now, yeah, and then, you know, and he never followed in my footsteps like as like a dancer, which was cool, because I was out like as like a b-boy. I wasn't like, yo, you got to do the family trade. He just was like, he got down and he liked it, and then he stopped for a while, and then he got down again, and then he just does it now. He just teaches. You know, he helps me teach at the schools, and he earns that way and stuff while he's in college doing his thing. And then, you know, the little one, and then, you know, my bonus daughter, you know, stepdaughter, bonus daughter, she calls me bonus dad.
Yeah.
So Anita, and she's 7 and stuff like that. So that's fun, man. Like,
so what's it like being a stepfather? You know,
I think, you know, it's wild because she came in we came into each other's lives, like with their mom, about Victoria. They came into my life at a spot where I was settling, like I was wilding, and then like I was settling down because all of a sudden Ozzy showed up, and I was like, oh shit, I got a baby. And I was like, all right. And she had a little one who was, I think she was at the time 3 or 4. And so I was like, well, I'm like creating a space to like take care of a little one. So like my house situation got to change. Roommates, you got to go. Like this is like me, Nano, family time. Like this is our space. Go to the studio while and stuff. And then so we just kind of did on that wave. So it was like it was just natural. Like I always laugh because it was like you know, me and Victoria were really good friends before we started dating and stuff like that. So it had a good foundation of us just being together and being cool. But her daughter was cool because she ate the same snacks I did. So we would just be hanging out watching. She was little, like 3, 4, so she was just getting into like, I was like, oh, let me put you up on anime. Let me put you up on like some cool stuff like Gundam and like Naruto. Let's see what sticks, you know. Like I'll start with the classics, and then we'll get into like the obscure stuff. But like we just hung out and just did our thing and stuff like that. So now it's like she's 7, you know. I'm older. I had Emiliano when I was 16.
Okay.
So that's a whole other lifestyle, like, in trying to do things. So like while I'm wilding out and still trying to be a kid and enjoy myself, I'm also got to like figure out how to earn for the little one and his mom at the time and stuff like that. And so that was a whole other like, just it's been like night and day. Like it's like, oh, this is what parenting can be, and it's not. I don't have all this struggle and like anxiety towards providing because like I got everything taken care of. Like as an older person, like, you know, I have we need to go buy diapers in the middle of the night. I could afford that. I'm not worried about it. Oh damn, I gotta buy a different car seat. The kid grew quicker. I could afford that. There's no issue.
And they
compared
grow quick.
compared to when I was 16, 17, and I'd be sitting there like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do this. Like I know how I'm gonna do this, but hopefully I come back home from this shit because like there's some wild choices I gotta make in order to do it. And it's just like, you know, if I think the other thing too is just like, as I got older, got into therapy, got my shit together, learned how to like manage some of that stuff. Like, damn, I could have asked for help. All this machismo bullshit I grew up with as a, you know, dude in the neighborhood. Oh, I got it. I'll handle it, dog. I'm my own man. Like, dog, if I just would have asked for help, you know how much better that would have been? Like, as a young man.
We weren't taught that shit.
Hell no. I wasn't taught none of that. And if I asked for help, I got made fun of. You know, so it was just like, all right, cool. I ain't doing this shit. And then everybody's struggling. But if everybody would just stop struggling with that whole mentality, if we wouldn't have been struggling with that whole mentality, we would have been straight.
Mentality held us back, you know.
It was wild, especially these dudes, man. Just like all the stuff, projecting, all that stuff. That's why I was like therapy. I was like, oh hell yeah. I was like, anytime I get extra bread and one of my homies going through shit, I was like, I ain't taking you on a trip, dog. I was like, you getting a therapist. I was like, so.
What's your favorite part of fatherhood, bro?
Favorite part of fatherhood. I don't know, man. It's the daily, you know, like that, like the mundane shit, like that should be mundane. That should be like not exciting. Is like the stuff that I look back and I'm like, damn, I really love that. Like all the stress, all the crazy, all the chaos and everything, and like me and my oldest son's mom splitting all those issues and things like that. I'm like, damn, you know what was dope? Being there in the morning making fucking bag lunches for him. Like I just remember that, and I was like, damn, that's ill. Like I love that. Like that, because I was there with him in the morning. I was there with him at lunch. Like, so it's like I had like, it's like as I learned, like as I got older, it's that presence and time and stuff like that. Like I was like, dog, I could have all the money in the fucking world. And that was why, that's the other thing with MCSDA sidebar. I was working as like an operations manager for a furniture delivery and assembly, some cheap Swedish bullshit, and And I was doing that, and I was making fat money, man. 70K, 65, 70K, and I fucking walked away from that shit because I never seen Emiliano. I didn't get shit for time to spend with him. When he was like in 5th, 6th grade, I didn't see him for anything because I was working so damn much. Like I would be out hanging out, and I'd have 2 phones from dispatch and from the office and all this shit. And I'm like, man, this sucks. I went out to freestyle session in LA in 2014, came back, quit my job. Because I was just like, I'm watching people with less enjoy themselves and love every bit of it with less. And I'm over here making all this money, and I can't do shit with it. And I'm losing all this time. So then I was like, all right, bet. Came home, quit. I was out. And then I was like, I loved spending time with him. So then when he started getting, and that was the thing, I was like, I had to make this dance shit work, because if not, when I needed to be able to have that foundation to like be able to like take care of like the financials, provide a stable shit for him. Yeah,
car, food, heat, water, all that shit.
Yep,
all that shit.
He's like, I remember one time I was like, I was naming all of that shit. I was like, grew up spoiled. He's like, I grew up spoiled? That's not spoiled. That's you providing a baseline. And I was like, damn, spitting bars like shit. I was like, you right. So it's like, that stuff, man. But like that, switched everything. And just the time, man. Like I realized that was what was so important. What was like the beautiful part about being a father. And even like right now, it's like, yeah, we went, me and my lady and my daughter, we went to Chicago and we did a trip. And I'm all like, damn, she don't remember like the $60 museum tickets. She remembers us paying and riding the bus. I'm like, that's fucking wild. I should have spent more money on bus tickets, just hanging out, riding around the city. But she loved it. She loved getting on Anita, my little one. She loved getting on the public transportation. It was so new. She's been to museums. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, that museum was cool. But you remember when the bus almost took off without me, like all the way in, and she, she has like good memory. But it was like us laughing because like the bus lady was freaking out because she was like, oh shit, I didn't see, and so it was a whole thing. But it's like, we had time to create that memory. And so that's like the big part that I've learned and what I'm enjoying is just the amount of time. And because like I run the organization, I'm able to be like, I'm leaving because I'm going to go do this, And when I got, when Emiliano got older and started getting in trouble, he's young, not even like trouble. He was just being mischievous, just being a kid. But his mom was like strict on him, so I had to be strict on him. Like, and we weren't together, but it was just like I was getting yelled at for shit he was doing. I know everybody experiences that shit. So I had to whatever year that was, his 9th grade year, he got in trouble. I literally was like, I'm not open on Wednesdays anymore. And everybody was like, why? I was like, I got to do family stuff. But I made that choice. I was able, that power, like in my ability, like in my life that I had, because I couldn't have done that. You work a 9 to 5, you got a clock in union. Like, if you ain't there at 5:01, you're marked late. You do that 9 times, you get fucking rolled up. You lose your bonus, you get fired, all your seniority, all that shit out the road, right? I did that whole fucking thing. Now I was like, and it's not even like on some like, Tony Robinson, you got to wake up at 5 a.m., be an entrepreneur bullshit. Fuck that. Like, it's just, just own your reality so that way, like, you can make the choices, like, you set those boundaries. I decided that, like, on Wednesday, I'm going to make sure in the middle of the week to check in on this little shit because he was getting in trouble. Nobody did that with me. Nobody had the ability to do that with me. I did. So I was like, on Wednesday, guess who's taking you into school? Guess who's picking you up? Guess who's staying 30 minutes to talk to every teacher?
That's what it takes.
He graduated. He's in college.
Fortunately.
Fortunately. And it takes that effort.
Because look how many of us didn't have that kind of support.
And it's like,
what kind of relationship did you have with your father?
He bounced in like 92. So that was probably the biggest thing towards me as a dad. Like, I just don't want to be that shithead, like with that, absence. And I always look at him in a good light because he put me up on good music. He taught me music. He taught me how to play guitar. Taught me all this cool shit. But it was like, hey, yo, what about like, being there? Like, that was what I didn't learn from him. And well,
see, we weren't taught that. We were always taught that as long as you're providing, they got clothes on their back, they got food on the table, they got a roof over your head, you were a good dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that was like,
and nobody told you about spending time, the intimacy with your family, staying home. And like I said, a lot of us came from gangs, selling drugs, so you were always in the streets, whether it was for gangs or whether it was for business, you know what I'm saying? So I just, I feel like, I became a product of that environment.
Yeah.
That's what I seen. That's what I was around. That's what I was taught. And it wasn't until I went to prison and evaluated my whole life.
Yeah.
I had 17 years to look at my whole life, you know what I mean? And realize that I had life fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I had to change. I had to do things different,
Man, and
things that are purposeful, meaningful,
that the meaningfulness.
But society is so demanding today to survive, bro. You need a job. You need 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And you might need a side hustle too.
Yep.
And that's the sacrifice that you have to make sometimes. And but it's beautiful when you can find a way to work around that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to spend that time, because I think it does a huge disservice to communities, families, households when you become a fucking robot. You
Yep.
know what I mean? When I was in prison, I used to see the way people worked. You know what I'm saying? And it was sun up to sundown, and there was no time for family and outings and, spending time with your kids and being there. It was the women, the mothers that were raising the boys and the girls, and, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes not even that, because sometimes both parents were working all the time, and you were being raised by a tia or a neighbor or a
Older
prima,
cousin.
older cousin,
and not even
shit
by
like
much
that.
older.
So everything you're learning is from school, community, TV, social media, all this type of shit. And
I mean, and that's the system at work, man. It worked on me in the sense that it caused my parents to have to work nonstop and not be able to check in on me because they couldn't leave and stuff like that, and and do all of that, do that wellness check with me and stuff like that. But me, I was like, nah, I found a way to circumvent the system, obviously still within dealing with it, but I made it work with me where I was able to be like, nah, that stops with me, all the shit that didn't allow me to be productive till damn near my late 20s, early 30s, before that, it was again, you're saying, it's the roboticness. I worked at Ford. You want to talk about a robot, you watch a person on an assembly line. I know people got to do what they got to do, and I respect everyone for earning and making that sacrifice.
And then the expense of life. I mean, everywhere you go, it costs you $50, $100, and I mean, you got to make money every day to be able to survive.
Yep.
You got to have money put up. You better inherit, or you got a good ass job, because I live check to check, bro, and it's rough. You know what I'm saying? People, you got to save money. You got to have money left over to be able to save some fucking money.
And then what?
And anything I do got left over, I got to hand it over to Brian or somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking Brian.
It's
but no, it's and then it's and then they make you feel guilty for enjoying yourself. I fuck saving. I want to enjoy myself. I work and people should. I hate that rhetoric where it's when people are when they make you they try to guilt trip you into that, and it's just nah, man. The quality of life ain't the same for others, same for everybody, and shit
right,
that,
absolutely.
man. And it's the things that bring me joy isn't I always say, a lot of in breaking, a lot of the trophies I have can't be hung on the wall. It's moments and things that I've earned, or spaces and people that I've connected with, that it's just damn, I could tell that story, or as people will tell that story, which is even the better part that's when I go into a space and they're just yeah, that's Mav, XYZ, that's the dude, and I'm just damn, that means more to me than a trophy. And it's just even with outside of it and off the floor is just being able to enjoy things in certain ways. Some people spending their money in certain ways and doing certain things. And it's it's trying to get us all to streamline and then fit into oh, well, that's what I'm supposed to enjoy. I'm supposed to do this. No, if you like Dungeons and Dragons and that's how you want to spend it, ball out, dog. That ball, make
especially
that
if you're working hard for it.
Yeah, ball out, or you just you like traveling and shit. I love I'm a sneakerhead, modestly now, but fuck, man, I just like spending money on fucking good food, and I eat it and that's good. Yeah, hey, man, you see? Yeah, I know. I'm good.
Since I've been home. Shit.
But it's and it's because what comes with that good food usually?
Joy.
Company. And joy and all that. Yeah, joy. But company, you got somebody you eating with, your wife, your lady, your homie, your friend.
Bro, I don't even like to eat by myself.
Yeah,
I never did, bro.
Nah, man. It's
I don't
community.
like to smoke by myself. I don't like to drink by myself.
Yeah, I
I
don't
like
think I've ever-
companionship. I
Yeah.
like to cheers to somebody.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's cool. It's like, and it's like something like I know everybody will know me for with that is just like they've always been. Anytime anybody comes into the crib, I'm always like, well, I'm about to make some food. You down to eat? And I'm always like grabbing extra, like make food. People come through, like, and just are able to grub. And it's like, and it's that breaking bread, you know, is funny. My son, I was like, I gotta grab something from around the studio to give him, and he's like, bring him a croissant. I was like, what the fuck I want to bring him a croissant for? He's like, cause you about to break bread with him. You know what I mean? I'm like.
Hell no.
It's like, what the hell? I was like, you trying to be out fucking deep. I was like, but you know, he's saying, I was like, he's like, but that's your thing. You always feed people. And I was like, you right. I was like, I ain't having time for a croissant.
I think that's one of the most intimate things you can do with somebody is break bread with them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Eat with the person, invite them to your home, feed them, cook for them.
Because then think what's tied into that food, like it's legacy, it's like heritage, it's culture, it's, you know, depending on what you're making, and let you microwave somebody some shit.
Hospitality, bro.
Whatever. But yeah, like you sit down and you're chopping onions and garlic and that shit's going, and then you're adding your, you know, the way that you cook. Even if we make like caldos or whatever, you know, fucking meals and shit the same way, like the meal, but it ain't gonna be cooked the same way. Your family's gonna do something a little different. My family's gonna do something a little different. Everybody adds their own touch, but like you're sharing that, you're inviting them into that kind of story. Like, so then they go home and they're like, hey, yo, he used tomato paste. That's some crazy shit. Like, I ain't never used tomato paste in that recipe, you know. And then that adds on, and like no one's gonna really know, but you know, the story is just kind of like you learned from me and you were able to share and then take that and pass it on and likewise and shit. So that's like why I always invite people over to like grub, why I spend so much like on food, because I love it, because I'm usually, like you said,
no
joy
doubt.
like I'm able to sit down and eat with somebody.
And I love to break bread, bro.
we
sure,
grub,
man.
we eat, like you got like a good spread, and it's not just, it's hospitality. Like when I came in, I'm just like, damn, this is dope. This is like
doubt.
it's like
See, I got
welcoming.
my snack section.
that
help
shit is
yourself.
dope. I don't know.
Whatever you want. I got the fridge.
I'll put it on my
multiple drinks,
story.
Juices. Help
This shit.
yourself. But listen, man, I appreciate you coming by, sharing your story, and you know, let the people know where they can find you, and if they want to get their kids involved in your program, how do they contact you?
Yeah, don't worry about finding me. That's whatever. But go look for MCSDA, Motor City SDA, Motor City SDA on our Instagram. Victoria, thank you, because our Instagram and our mailing list and stuff like that is amazing, informative, and like concise and just dope to look at. So like that's the easiest way. You find us on Instagram, you sign up for the newsletter, all the info's on the link tree. She handles all of that, and that just makes this all so much easier. And then, you know, if not, just pull up on the corner of Seacott and Michigan, you know, like Livernois and Michigan Avenue.
In
We're
Southwest
there.
Detroit.
Yeah, in Southwest Detroit. Not East Detroit. Not North Detroit. Not South Detroit, because that don't exist. Southwest Detroit.
Shout out to Big Meech, man. Welcome home.
Oh, yeah, he's
man.
home.
Hell yeah, he's home. For real.
All the Jeezy homies going to come out now, man. Fucking...
Yeah,
that era.
man. Welcome home, man. There's a lot of good things coming. You know what I'm saying?
The Lions, man. I was geeked when you
The
mentioned
Lions,
that.
yeah,
Bro,
for sure.
I convinced my lady to pull over, and I was like, let's run into Mercury Bar. We'll get a shake or so, a fries. We had just left
Oh,
one spot
yeah,
to
I
eat.
love
I was like,
Mercury Bar.
let's grab fries or something. We got to watch the game. We were in there with like the whole, like, bunch of random people watching the game, too. I was like,
That's
oh, thank
the
God.
shit.
So it
you
was
know
cool.
what? Them are some of the funner times,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, we just ran around. Like I said, man, the time that I'm able to do, like when I'm just able to decide just to go have time. There's your fucking wholesome moment. Sonic Says, if you remember that shit from that cartoon, you know, just go spend time with your people, bro. Sit at the park. You'd be surprised. Like,
Yeah, that shit's priceless,
yeah,
man.
you
for
can't
real.
you can't do that. A trip, a boat, a fucking vacation, none of that shit. Like, you don't need any of it, because you can do it once, but like weekly and consistency, man, that's what, like, when families thrive off of fucking consistency, man. Whether it's
Ain't no doubt, man.
yeah,
That's the word of the day, man. Make time for your family and your loved ones, man.
Yep.
Life is too short. But I appreciate everybody for tapping in. I'll see you guys next Monday.